Dan Smith Candies originally started as an ice cream company in 1946 on the back porch of Dan Smith's home in Brookville, Pennsylvania. 6 years later, in 1952, as the business began to grow, Dan built a factory and retail store on Maben Street.
My father would say, you can go into your Uncle Dan's and get anything you want because he is your uncle and we don't have to pay for it.
1 year later, in 1953, encouraged by the success of the ice cream business, Dan decided to branch out into making candy along with ice cream.
Matter of fact, he was selling 200 milkshakes a day during the summer. So he decided to expand his business.
As the candy business began to grow, more space was needed, so in 1964, Dan purchased Eberline's garage on Barnett Street. Renovating the building, he moved the candy manufacturing part of the business to this new facility, thus separating the ice cream and the candy business. In 1973, it was decided to sell the ice cream part of the company in order to devote full attention to the candy making and fundraising part of the business. The original factory and store still stands and is known as Buff's Ice Cream and Homemade Candies.
Him and Aunt Marie had a very nice life in the candy business. But he decided then when my brother Roy came from Vietnam, came back, he said, Roy, if you would like to start the business, he said, I will train you and I will teach you. He worked for Uncle Dan for 9 years and then Uncle Dan turned the business over to Roy. And Roy had the business for 13 years. And then Roy saw sucker written across my forehead. And so what ended up was that I bought the business. And I'll tell you that when someone comes in and doesn't know what to select, I'll direct them to our candy bars. Matter of fact, they sell for $1 and you get a whole lot of peanut butter for $1. We do a lot of things handmade. And when we talk about kitchen fresh candy, our kitchen fresh candy is kitchen fresh. It's all made in the back. This is where we melt our chocolate. Okay, there's nothing in there. It's put in here, it's melted, it's mixed, and then from there, it is pumped. The chocolate is pumped up and over to the next room. This is what we call the bunny room, and this is where all of the molds are made. And I think we do have, you can come over and get this. This is our chocolate. That's just one of the, I know that James turns this on every couple days to mix it up so that the oils get mixed back into the chocolate. This is all molds that we use. I think there's chocolate in there too. Lots of chocolate. But see, it gets pumped from there and it gets pumped into here and then it goes from this one over into that container there.
This is one of our molds that we do. And what it is called a European because we have a magnet in it. And that seals up when we pump chocolate in it. It's a very good mold. We used to have molds that we'd use clips. And they got fragile and all this, so we decided to go with this. And what would happen is you would think that you got all the heat out and then you would pump your chocolate, tempered chocolate, and it would knock the chocolate out of temper. It'd be white, imperfected. It was terrible. At that time, we were doing, out of 100 molds, we probably got 45 to turn out. And I built this. And what we do here is we'll put this into this cabinet, and what we usually have is hair dryers. And what we can do is we can turn on these hair dryers and we can take the chill off of them within 5 seconds. So one day I got the bright idea. Two girls that did my molding at the time, we went up on an 85-degree day and made 100 molds and put them in this, and I had 60% of them turn out. Our productivity and the frustration part went down considerably because with this in this unit, right now we're 99% efficient. In other words, the girls are pumping the molds and they're not discarding them. We're able to, they're exactly what we want, perfection, shiny is what we want for our customers.
This is what we call the extruder, and what it is that product, and I think they did just peanut butter, but anyway, the product is put down in here after the cook cooks it or mixes it up, and then from the dies, then it is dropped down, and these two are connected. The belt out here is connected, and it drops down on the belt and it starts moving along. Now this is a bottom coat, and there's another bottom coat that it goes over, and then it goes down through this tunnel, and then from here it goes into this tunnel, and this is where a curtain of chocolate is coming down, and it covers the center itself. And then it comes through, goes out that end. This is what we call the packing belt. What it is down under here are these moving trays. You have to understand that everything has a recipe. If you pick up our candy, whether it be a 1-pound box, whether it be a variety, whether it be Nuts, Crisp and Chews, whether it be even nuts, everything goes in a certain line in the box so that you can pick up that box and know that there's a peanut butter melt away in this corner. Now I have to tell you that I did this once. It took 5 times for this belt to go around to get one box full, and I said, this is it. I'm not doing this anymore. I mean, thank God I am not a worker, because this, I might master eventually, but it's just unbelievable because the girls stand here, sit here, and this goes around, and you just keep picking pieces, and then when you have the box full, then you put it up here, and this carries it down to, they have a chute here. Once the candy comes down that belt and it's weighed and a lid put on it, then it comes over here, and manually we seal everything by hand. We've been in business for 60 years, and we have the original recipes of all of our chocolates, and they've been recipes from Uncle Dan, and we've never changed our recipes. We feel that the recipes that he has been very successful with Dan Smith's Candies. I think it's very important to keep it in the family. First of all, because of Uncle Dan starting it, and with my brother having it for so many years. And I certainly wouldn't want anyone to come in and change the name of the business. But I just think that with the ethics of Dan Smith and the workmanship here, I just think that it needs to stay in the family. It's very, very important. You know what? When you're a small company, we can try anything. And we do. And we get a lot of special orders for different items. So we basically can do anything. One time Frank was getting the popcorn out, and a big ball of popcorn that was on fire came out of there, and it got on his apron, and he's like screaming, "I'm on fire, I'm on fire." But we didn't lose him. I can do this. Well, you know what? We're a small company. We can do anything we want, is my attitude. Because I mean, it's my company, it's Frank's company, and we just do what we want. And it's a good deal, because I'm the boss. hide the boss.